Hello, this is Brian McMullen here. My company is bmminspire.co.uk, and this is my life experiences. And this one here is the police ombudsman out of my house in 2017. So if you would like to carry on, listen to the next one. Hello, my name is Brian McMullen, BMM Inspire, and as you look here, you have the police ombudsman's page. It tells you how you make a complaint, how you deal with it. But you see the way it tells you, you don't need a solicitor. My advice to you would be, have a solicitor. Make sure a solicitor keeps copies. Because Andrew Papile at the police ombudsman's office, 2023, told Naomi at Wave Trauma that all my issues had been dealt with. But yet I had argued from 2020 after that happened with Rowan and Bridget with the police ombudsman, who told me they had in their possession 2 statements that 2 dead kids wrote. And I asked them to write that because I was their appointed person. So I'm going to release a few videos. This one's from 2017. And then we'll do another one soon, and that'll be 2018. And then I'll put up a proper presentation with all in it, all the clips, all the emails, all the evidence I have that the police have been allowing things to happen to me, things to escalate. But not only that the police ombudsman have been allowing things to go unchecked, stating the evidence from the police that they don't have. Andrew Papile, it's not right. Naomi, we have. Now, I'm calling you out and I'm done. So all the evidence is going up and people will see that Andrew Papile, the police ombudsman, has covered for Mr. Murphy. You know that boy that's on the internet for over all them failed cases, who then carried on and done my next case, him and Claire Henry with Mr. Kelly, which will also be put up shortly, have hid away, refused to take evidence, refused to take statements, refused to take camera evidence. This is all the things I've been claiming now from 2009. But I've also said it happened before that, but all that evidence suddenly disappeared. So I started gathering in 2009, collecting videos, collecting the documents, and then it happened, reported it to the ombudsman just to make sure it was documented up there so that the police couldn't lose it again. Because you know the way the police are the police force, and they're supposed to be the law, know the law, study the law. I don't think there's a police officer in the country who has actually been to law school, studied any part of the law, or whatever. They'll give a wee basic, there you are, and then they do what they want. Now, the PPS as well, I would like to talk to you because I have a recording for the PPS and I just want to make sure dates and times before I release it too. And we'll see how far this goes. So today I'm going to release the first one. 2017, police ombudsman in my house. And yes, police ombudsman, you come into my house. I record everything, I tell you that. There's signs in the gates and everybody knows it. I even tell you it through conversations that everything's recorded out around me. So here we go. That's me, come on in, girl. Or lady, throw it. Gone into the kitchen. It's the road.
We had trouble finding you then?
Yeah, I'd say I thought that. Most people do.
Where do you want us to go?
I just in the kitchen.
In the
There,
kitchen?
I have the hand there for you if you're right. I just got the laptop sorted out the table like that.
Yeah, right.
any chance of a wee bowl of soup or a wee
Oh,
cup
no,
of
no,
soup?
no.
Alright.
Honestly, we're fine.
Right.
Thank you. Smells lovely.
Well, I used to be a chef, so I did.
Oh, did you?
I remember I first left school. That's it.
Look at the view from
I
No,
love it.
it's absolutely
Is it
beautiful.
gorgeous?
Look,
So it is.
I've never been happier in my life. And that's being honest with you. I lived in Ballymurray and had a lot of hassles as I grew up. And since I moved out here, my mental health, I've no problems, my neighbours are great.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, it's stunning.
Really
That's the
beautiful.
Mullican Tire, you see that?
Yeah. No, I have been down and up, right
Yes.
before I head down.
Oh, I love it.
It's so good.
Oh, my mouse.
Right.
I broke my mouse. I can send you copies of everything. I've got on my phone as well. I definitely have everything. Let me see. Here, I can get the dates, some of the dates. Where's there a mouse down in the shed? Emails.
Right. Is this the email that you're looking for that you sent
To the officers,
the
yep.
officer?
It's not that I'm looking for it. They are there. They're on this. It's just my laptop bit has stopped working. I'm a training instructor and I dropped the wee keypad mouse. And I have to click on the... I wonder if it would even work a bit. Mail.
Right. What we can do, Brian, is because
Take my statement. I have the emails, I promise you, of all of them.
yeah. Right. So
Simon Archibald.
I can move over here. Do you want to sit here? I'll move over here.
Have you an email address there?
yes,
Right.
it's.
I have them up in emails so I can forward.
I'm trying to think.
And that would be as handy because you'll get the dates, you'll get everything that's up here, and you'll
Right,
get what I
and
sent him.
These are the emails simply in relation to this, Brian.
Aye, the email sent about the messages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so
I
it's-
just, no, I told you I wouldn't talk about anything else, and
yeah,
that's what it is.
That's great.
Now, my problem was, whenever this first was made to the officers, I believe the officer that first got the complaint with Michelle was an officer I have an ex-complaint against. So he took nothing to do with it and walked to the side and left Michelle to deal with this. So there was no reason for me ever having to ring the police here. The police should have notified me that my name was mentioned in that, and I would have told them to go and have a word with Danny and let the thing go. That, I swear that would have been it. But because then I heard my name was being mentioned in a rape allegation, now I have ended up falling out with the Watson family, which is my daughter's family, because her brother runs about with Danny and their cousins over the head of all this. They were all talking about this, thinking this was funny. Now it's my name that's been threw about in a rape allegation. I have 2 daughters, and I spent 7 years there fighting in court to see my daughters. You know, and then stuff like this comes up, and it's a whole handling because you're arguing then with the parents' mothers and again, and they're wondering what it's all about, and it's a malicious allegation.
Okay. So what I need is, who did you first report this to, Brian?
I rang up the police station. They then got in contact with me with, hold on, I get the individual's name here. Simon Archibald was the officer that I had to send the complaint to. Now, I've sent it twice there through this, and I also sent it by text message to him. So I've sent 2 emails and text messages.
Okay, and when was that?
That was on the 17th of the 8th, 2017.
And when was the text message?
That was the same day, because I was trying to get the messages to him. They wouldn't receive on his phone for some reason. My emails wouldn't receive, and then he gave me another email address. It left out a digit or something, he said.
Okay. So
No.
you sent him an
Yep.
email in relation to this text message?
I showed him, I sent him an actual clip off the text message.
Right.
So I sent him what had been said. So Michelle had sent me it through Messenger and also WhatsApp. And I then stored them in my phone. I took them then and I contacted the police, asked them why the police hadn't actually contacted me that my name was in this. For one, why they hadn't done something about it, considering they had done me for miscommunication one time that I'd text somebody before, so I know there's a law there. Right, so then they appoint another officer, which is Simon, then to deal with it.
Right.
You know, to me that isn't fair. That's one officer passing the buck to another officer, and it's common here with cases I've going on. And it's really upsetting, you know, that no one officer will deal with my case. And if my name goes into the police station, they're out at my house, my mother's house, my friend's house, and you can check this out within 10 minutes to arrest me.
Yeah. So,
But if I make a complaint, it takes months before they even go and see anybody.
But this complaint that we're dealing with here,
Yep.
okay?
So I then rang the police station. They got me in touch with Constable Simon Archibald, who I emailed and messaged, and then left it in his hands.
Okay, so what's your complaint in relation
My
to this
complaint is
specifically?
that they should have dealt with it straight away. It's an allegation of gang rape. It's a young girl that had been sexually abused. She has been sexually abused in the past. So this boy has been sending her malicious messages referring to gang rape and stuff. The officers there should have dealt with it. They have a duty of care. A duty of care towards me as well, not just her. That officer
were
first.
you
officer,
saying because your name appeared?
aye,
in
that
text
officer laughed.
that
He
they
laughed
should
it off and pointed at the camera and said straight away that camera at the police station is not working. Now they've since then said it is. I believe that police officer, the minute my name was mentioned, he knows who I am. They all do. I've an ongoing war with them. I've cameras off them. I'm around my house to stop them driving around my house. So they know who I am. They should have rang me at least or notified me that this message had been made. You know, like I'm driving about with
So
children.
how do you know that they weren't making inquiries about that?
They weren't, because they never took none of it, and Michelle told me they were, and they never done nothing. Then Michelle had to get another officer. Whenever I rang news and I rang the police, then I rang Michelle back and notified her that I'd been in touch, and then they sent out another officer. I think it was Mr. Archibald to deal with it then.
Right. When was the first that you became aware of this, Fran?
That
When
was
did
that day.
Michelle send you
That
this
day, the
message?
17th of August.
What time was that at?
Well, I'm not 100% sure.
Have you got it on your phone?
I haven't on my phone. I've sent them. I've stuff stored in this here thing. I can turn it on and show you. I can actually.
Right, so-
I can turn it on, but I can't get this wee keypad here.
So this, when did Michelle get this message? Did she get that on the
I presume
17th?
it was that day because the police were out with her. She just messaged me after the police had come out because of the fact that they had done the hunt and seen my name and found it funny.
So who called with Michelle?
I don't know the policeman's name. I never even asked. No, I presume it was possibly.
Right, but I've explained to you that in relation to Michelle's report and the police officers dealing with Michelle, that's her complaint,
Yeah,
Brian,
my
okay?
complaint as the first
So-
officer and the fact that the second officer, even after he got the message as the mail, he rang me once and said he can't get hold of Danny Watson. Danny Watson's walking up and down the street. He's a heroin dealer, heroin addict that's selling out in Ballycastle. He's up and down the court with the child custody cases, and he's up for non-molestation order, and he's prancing about the street, and he's out at the end of the avenue the whole time, him and them more young heroin addicts, standing at the end of the road to get a lift up into the dirty road in Ballymena. And the police tell me they can't see him. They tell everybody they can't see him.
But we have to start from the
Now, do
beginning,
you know the only
Brian.
reason that they got him that day that they rang me, and you can check this out, his neighbour, Danny Watson's neighbour, was robbed, straight across from the house, and they know it was Danny. So they had to go then to deal with this robbery and go to the next door and deal with Danny, but they could get him that day. But they can't get him for 3 months after making sexual allegations against me.
Right, but you have to appreciate, Brian, that you're talking here about officers and all, and you have to tell me exactly. So when you say that you rang police,
Yep, I rang the
is
police
this the
station
first
to make.
officer that you're
I
talking
rang the
about?
police station to make the complaint.
And
That
when was that? On the
on that day,
17th?
yep, on the 17th that there
Right,
had happened.
And who
Yeah.
did you speak to?
I rang angry mad. I can't even mind. At the end of the day, that's all I was through. I didn't know who I speak to. They put me in for reception. I make the complaint, and then they told me an officer had been in touch.
Right, that was Simon Archibald.
Archibald got in touch with me,
Right.
asked me to send him all the details, and I spent half a day sending them the wrong numbers. Finally, he gave me a right number. Right, it wouldn't go through. Then he gave me wrong emails, and then finally he gave me the right email because I never gave up on it.
Right, so he got the details, and then what happened?
And then that was the last I heard. He rang me once to say that he couldn't find Danny, and it wasn't really a priority, and that he would be back to in touch with me sometime, was his word. And that was the end I heard. Until after you contacted me, or whoever it was, scolded me that day and told me it wasn't my business to be telling Michelle that the police camera didn't work, whoever that was. But that's another thing that's been reported to the solicitor, and I'm going to ask for all
so he
the
said,
recordings.
right, he said he would be back in contact, and then when I spoke to you, when I spoke to you yesterday, you told me that he had been in contact.
Now,
So
it's
when
funny,
was
every
he in
time I rang
contact?
it was in contact Sunday. It was actually a Sunday morning. They keep ringing me for some reason.
Right, and what did he tell you on Sunday?
He told me that he got the whole of Danny Watson and he had a stern word with him.
Right, and you had said to me that that's all that you wanted them to do.
I'm past caring, Pet. They don't deal with nonsense anyway. I want my name left alone. Like, at the end of the day, I understand now he's a heroin addict. I do understand that, and I know he is now fighting at court with his kids and stuff. The last thing I would want to do is put more pressure on a wee fella and him do something on himself, because I would feel guilty. Yeah, I really would, and I don't want to do that. But at the end of the day, I'm the one that's left down here now, isolated, and I'm the one that has to stay away from people, and I'm the one with Wayne's. You know, and I'm the one that has to fight at court, and I'm the one the police keep knocking the life out of.
I understand that, Brian.
Like, and your officers told me that a police helicopter can't fly level with my window one night and cut off a complaint I have. Could you look out there and tell me how a police helicopter can't? Because it could.
You remember I said to you, Brian, I'm just dealing with this incident,
I'm understanding the enemy lines.
Right,
you deal with that. That's my complaint.
Yeah, but I need to just get the details of
They
this
should have went
complaint.
out straight away and had a word with Danny. Like, they shouldn't have left us 3 months to be me slandered round in town for that message, and people wondering why nobody would do it well. Because it makes it look convincing. And I was accused of rape 20 years ago, Darren. I never done.
Mm-hmm. So what's your actual complaint?
The complaint is the police have failed to do it properly. They failed to do it sufficiently within a reasonable time, as they have done with every other case. They've bent me witness statements. I've had to get used on and use upheld it. They let Charlie Ward threaten me to my wife, and my family left me. I went years ago and finally used upheld that after 5 years of complaining to these.
Right, Brian. So we're talking about you.
I want to treat it fair and equal.
Right, but you reported this on the 17th of the 8th, right? And you're saying that officer contacted you on Sunday?
Yep.
When was that? Sunday
It's on the
there?
past there.
Which would have been... What day is today?
It would have been the 29th
Okay, so 29th of November.
October.
Oh, 29th of October. So you're talking about basically just over a month.
How's it over a month? In the middle of
Because
August.
that was August,
So you have fall
2
September,
months.
October. You have 2.5 months there, darling. There's not a case of mine has been resolved any less than 2.5 months or 2 months. That's what I already told you. It took them 2.5 to 3 months or 7 months was it to find Charlie Ward the time he threatened me with my wife and kids. It took them 3 months to find Kevin McCarry after sticking a key in my face. It took them longer. Do you see a minute my name goes in? It takes them 5 minutes to get to that police station, 2 or 3 armed cars with guns to arrest me, and I've never been done with a violent crime. So there's a conflict. There's 2 different ways of them there is double standards.
Right. But your complaint to me today is specifically that you reported this to police and you feel
And
that it took police
It
too
took
long to deal
it
with
took
it.
2 different people
Right.
to report it. Not only one person. It took Michelle to report it
But-
and me then to report it again.
Yes.
Before the police even took
But
responsibility
you
of
do
dealing with it.
understand that it was Michelle who did have to report it.
Michelle
She
did
was the
report it.
one
And
that
I
got
got hold on, I
text
rang her and I
message.
told Michelle that after the police didn't deal with it to ring the ombudsman, and some ombudsman officer rang me and told me it was none of my business to tell Michelle that I should have kept my nose out of it, that I had no right to tell Michelle that. You know,
Calm down.
Yes.
at the end of the day, the police ombudsman's office there is to help people that's not being treated right by the police.
Yes.
And if somebody sees that happen, I have a right to tell Michelle that I believe them cameras do work, Michelle, and I believe that policeman laughed at that because he knows me.
Right. But
And for your
yeah.
officers to tell me that I was wrong and that's not the way things work.
I'm dealing with you, Brian,
But
okay?
was it
I'm
you that
not-
told me that on the phone?
No,
Who spoke
what-
to me on the phone?
You spoke to me
It was you.
at the time. No,
Yes.
but what I said
Who rang
to
me
you,
back was and told me that it was none of my concern and I'd be better dealing with my own mental health.
No, that wasn't me.
Well, I'm
All
asking.
I
Well,
said
I'm
was-
asking for now. Paddy McShane's involved. I'm a solicitor, and I hope the offices report it because if the phone
Well,
call was
our
made out
calls-
of your office, and I'll be asking for the memos to be heard that I was told I'd be better dealing with my own mental health than dealing with a young girl that had been abused, and the police were failing to deal with the situation correctly.
Well, that's not the case, Brian.
Well, that's what was told to me on the phone.
No, our calls are recorded.
Well,
so
good. It's time. When
I-
there's 2 yous here, I want yous to go back
I can
and check the
assure
call
you
that was
I
made to
didn't
me.
say that. So
Well, I'll assure you that's what was said to me, and I was also told to look after my own mental health. I spent 4.5 years at counselling for my own mental health. Right, I was I was in rehab in 06, I was in jail in 07. I now teach 40 courses. I have letters in there from the governor of the McGilligan and McGabry prisoner fighting me for making DVDs and working with prisoners to get them back on the courses. I've also letters in there from the contact centre where I've went and spent 2 years with my own children who asked me to come down and train the staff on how to deal with people coming in, like me, people with ADHD and post-traumatic stress syndrome that's finding it rare and hard to deal with. You know, I've spent years ringing these to try and get help to keep the police off my back. I've had to put 16 cameras around my land and complain about helicopters and the police driving up and down by this house. Well, guess what? When was the last time I complained about the police driving up and down by my house? I haven't had to now, because they finally stopped. You know, and for your officers to be ringing me telling me I should be better looking at that wee girl, if that wee girl had killed herself, hung herself, or done something to herself, use the office and me and everybody else, I've been kicking up death, and it's been reported to Paddy McShane, and I've asked him for the memos of who told me that on the phone and told me it was none of my business, I should keep my nose out of other people's, and I've no right to tell them that an ombudsman's office is there.
All those calls will be recorded. So
right. Well, I
at
want
least
it,
your solicitor will be able to deal with
I want
it.
it checked. You're used to her here together. There's usually only one person who's down here, and it's because I kicked off yesterday. And I'm glad the two of you come down, because now I want
We
whoever.
always go out in
No, you
pairs.
don't, darling.
We do.
No.
Darling, there's never been two pairs of ombudsman's office at this house, and I've done office for 15
no,
years.
But if it's, you're maybe dealing with some of our male colleagues before, Brian, but it's females, we always go out in pairs.
Oh,
You know,
that's
particularly
okay.
when I find it very hard to find.
Right, no, well that's
And
alright.
there's no numbers
Well, that's
on the
safety
houses,
too, but that's,
so,
if that's a
so
safety issue, that's a safety
aye,
issue too.
so, and then you remember I
No.
explained we have other appointments.
Aye.
So we need to have two
Right,
people.
well,
so
you
it's-
know now that I have, and I want that memo, I want the recording listened to, and I want
You would have
roll
to
up.
get your solicitor to put that request in.
That's
and
alright,
write.
I won't.
It wouldn't be something that we would be doing.
Right,
What's
well,
your date of birth?
I would have
Brian?
thought if you could have done it internally
We
and
can't.
had a chat,
That's
tried to help
nothing
me
to
here.
do with us.
You know, do you know the only thing I want, pardon?
What's your date of birth?
10/8/77. I don't even want to be ringing your office complaining. I don't want to be complaining about anybody, any of the staff at all. Because if I hadn't I got to use it at the start, I'd have probably been dead by now. Well, the hassle was going on. And that first officer that got me that upheld complaint got me 7 years of reprieve, because the police left me alone for ages after that. And then I got building up my wee family, and so the ombudsman's office was vital to helping me. And I don't want to be on the phone complaining and argue, but I want to be dealt with. Like, there's the laws, there's Offences Against the Person Act, there's Harassment Act, there's the Miscommunication Act. There's so many laws that the police could be using against any of them people that's at me. And the law, they'll choose to use them against me. Or the last time they turned me court case, they meant statements just before a court case that were approved in a court case that the man was at me even more. They was threatening me, ringing my house and all the rest. And they meant that. And I had to ring your office to get that upheld. And whenever you call the police officer and they start me nothing, this is all we lost it.
Right, so this,
You know, so they're destroying court cases and everything.
right, Brian, so this message that you got from
Yep.
Michelle, it was a text message that she sent you.
No, it was a copy of the actual message. She took a snapshot of the thing on her phone where it says Michelle Parker. I gives Danny's number, so much of the number where it could be referred to. Danny's already admitted that, hasn't he?
So it was a snapshot of
Of the allegations referring to me, Niall Butler.
right, and this was a text message she had got.
Yep. An abusive text message from a chap that was harassing her, yeah. And her house had been damaged that day, so she rang up about the house being damaged and about these abusive messages. Yeah. And then they have to ring me to get involved because my name's on it. I should never have to get involved. The police should have dealt with it. They should have went out and had a word with him the way they did at the end of it, and I would never have to ring these. I would have looked at it and thought, fool. You know, I'm in the middle of it at the minute. The chapel in RMY, I used to box. And the chapel in RMY has come at me father. He used to run a boxing club in Ballymoney. And he had 4 nation champions, about 20 All-Ireland, about 49 county, about 40 county anthem champions go through the wee club. And the chapel has come at me and my younger brother and him to open up the club. And they're providing everything. And for us to come in and start running a training club and a boxercise club for the ones that don't want to box and a boxing club for the ones that's interested, in RMY, they've set us up a hall and everything. And they're away trying to get all the checks done. And saying they're going to pay for the coaching courses to get the kids back in. You know, and I've explained to the police that I've been in jail and the drugs and all the rest, and to him he thinks it's great because of the fact that I've went so far training and the fact that I can maybe help and talk to young people to, you know, go to counselling or treatments. But this crack with the police can't deal with stuff in my life, pet. You know, it'll be 9 years next year if I start hitting around your office. Right, and I've 2 upheld complaints in that time so far, and I've other ones I believe should have been upheld. You know, I shouldn't even have won.
So what do you actually work at,
I
Brian?
train people to drive machinery, diggers, dumpers, forecasts, mills, all
You don't work with
No, I have a wee company and I'm training. See, with me having a criminal record at the time I was instructor's course, it would be, I was unemployable really. where
Right.
I
But
had
he doesn't
before.
work with you or for you, no?
No, I just work for myself there. I'll tell you, I'm up in People's Plus. They have subbed me in People's Plus up in Musgrave,
Right.
Keith Black, and that would be Diamond Recruitment. They both were a big company, but they were having enough work in Shed in Belfast, closed it down, and then they rang me about work after it closed it, and I couldn't do the work, but they had a facility there, and the chap was too busy, so they have brought me out at $950 a week, 2 weeks a month to train for them, the forklifts, the people from the door. So I'm up there, and then I'd fit to do the other weeks myself in the only business.
Happy days.
Oh, it's very good at the minute. It's picked up, teach 40 odd courses. See, I went with the act road whenever I got out of prison. When it burns, I don't know if you ever heard of the burns.
No, I haven't. I know of Nacro, but I
Well, Lynn wasn't act road. I think she's turning into drug rehabilitation now.
Right, okay.
But like, if he's hot on everything, I would advise you to listen to him. She helped me with the act road finding, and I had on the wee business side of it. And she's on the counselling now, which was brilliant. And I ended up, I done 3 courses with them in the instructor's course. So $40 done over the last 9 years. They're trying to get the balance between the court years and the kids. Trying my lifestyle again. That's well fun for you. That's
Very good.
Right. So basically, Brian, you're saying you got this message where he was making allegations that you had been involved in a gang
rape
rape of Michelle,
Michelle
and you're
Power.
saying that Michelle was sexually abused in the past.
I'm sure it has been, yeah.
Okay.
As far as that,
You're saying that this was a malicious allegation?
it was a vindictive malicious allegation. And
Okay.
there was no. I've never actually been in a place with Michelle on her own. I've never been in the wee girl's front door. I've never been in her house. I've known her all my life through Ballycastle. I know her cousins. I've never been in their house. I've seen them. I speak to them. Yeah. It was a jealous rant. Danny was going on and mouthing at her, and name anybody that she spoke to, anybody that she thanks the wee girl says hello to. Yeah. She nailed Niall Butler, Jordan Turner, me.
And Michelle's just known to you, you're not in a relationship
No,
or anything?
no, I'm in a relationship with nobody. I've never been in a relationship with Michelle. I've never kissed a wee girl. I've never held her hand. You know, it's a speaking thing where we pass ourselves. You know, I know Michelle's family, the Keenans. I know her cousins, Declan. I know her uncles. You know, I know them all. I have never been in any sort of relationship with a wee girl in my life.
And you were very upset at getting this message?
Upset's not the word, Pet. I was accused of rape years ago. The police know this, and the police kept. The last time there was no case to answer to. It took the police a full year before they gave me that letter to say there was no case to answer to, and they held on to it. They held on to it till they nearly me suicidal. I killed myself, clean off my rocker and drugs. And when I realised my life was alright, I went and signed myself into a mental home to get treatment. And then I went and done 4.5 years of counselling, and I went to jail, and I done my jail term. And then I come out and I started my wee business, and I went to court to see my kids. And the whole time I've had contact centres. I've been extended contact centres because your man Ward threatened me in a shop with my wife and my kids. But yet he was going with the girl, the kid I was trying to see. So the man threatens me, and I get 6 months late in a centre with the way that he's threatened me about. Now it's been proven that he bullied and threatened my child. And social service and everybody were told at that time he was a heroin addict. And the police and everybody allowed him to stay in the house and told me there was nothing they could do. Mm-hmm. Now, that's the same dude, that's where Danny Watson gets his heroin at. The same boy that's annoying Michelle. He's a heroin addict and a heroin dealer that goes up to the Derry Road on a Wednesday, and he goes up on another evening, this Joel day, and he picks up the heroin and he takes it down. And the police know it. You know, and the police can tell me they can't, because there's friends of mine live, my brother's woman's sister lives in the corner house opposite Danny. She knows the police weren't looking for Danny. They drove down by him when he's been standing at the door, and I know that for a fact.
Right.
So
Okay.
they put this, and I'll tell you what they keep doing. If I make a complaint, they take it into the office and they go to that and they say, up there, he's got mental health problems, he's complained to us, we'll annoy him a wee bit, we'll get him rattled here.
Sorry,
We'll wait
Brian.
till he rings the ombudsman, and then we'll run out and we'll deal with it the way we have done the last 10 times.
Right. So just whenever you rang police to report it, then
I gave off
Simon
about,
Archibald
that's
then
who was appointed
contacted
to
you?
it, yeah.
Okay. And can you remember how long after he contacted you, after you'd rung police?
Month.
Now you said that you sent 2 emails to him and a text message?
Yep, I've sent two emails, text messages. I will forward you everything the day. I will take Snapchats. I'm going to go once you go and I'll buy a new mouse for this. I will take screenshots so that you can see my page and all the details on
and
it.
he's a constable, is he?
It must be, aye.
And where's he? In Ballycastle?
Must be Coleraine. Ballycastle
Coleraine?
station's practically closed. Now, here's another point for you, Richie, right now. The police, there's no radio signal, no phone signal down here. Right? The police are at risk coming into an area with no phone signal, no radio signal. They searched my work years ago for ammunition, guns, Semtex and all to get me put out of my shed in Armagh. There was never nothing in it. I've never been involved in anything, but it was to destroy my work. But yet they can drive over this mountain and sit down there because I've took pictures of them looking up here. Then they drive up here because I was building my shed and drive up and down past here to tell my workers they stop wanting to come down near me. And my friends don't want to come down near me. They've been to my friends' houses, or they had text messages. I sent a woman, her mother and her daughter made a malicious allegation about my stepson interfering with another woman. And there was a house, I texted her and told her she was a liar and social service that had just been out and they were coming looking for her. Right? Looking for her, not me. The police come out and arrested me and charged me with Miscommunication Act because I stood up for my godson and told her that she'd just been found out lying. Her mum works for social services and they were trying to destroy the child custody case. Can you see anything going on here? 10 years ago I got locked in prison and I got caught with 2 ounces of speed, the worst speed in the country, and I was an addict and I went to prison for it. I wasn't caught with a lorry load of stuff. You know, and for the attention and the money that the police spend harassing me and driving up and down here, darling, you know, and then they tell me, oh, we're stretched. How can they tell me they're stretched while they're driving up and down by my house and I can camera them? So I know the police have a hump with me. I got a complaint against them years ago, and ever since I've been taking a piss because they never thought I would get the complaint. But it'll be alright till somebody gets jumps it and attacks me, or I end up clipping them like that boy in Ballycastle recently. I had somebody fell and they banged their head and they're in for an arrest. I'm an ex-boxer. I keep telling the police, if I had somebody to be doing it and they bang their head, I'm away for a year. That's why they're letting people that torment me. Because they're hoping someday I'm going to crack like I used to do when I was a young boy. When the UDA beat the shit out of me and pestered me, urinated on me at 13 because I went to court to give evidence against them for trying to kill my father. That's where this all stems from. And since then they tormented me. The UDA Marcus Sporting and them boys beat the life out of me. They broke me jaws, they threatened me life. That's why I live away out here. And then anytime I ring people looking for help to deal with shit.
Right, so whenever you reported this to Simon Archibald, Brian, you wanted
First of all,
him to
I want him to go out and get the matter dealt with as a matter of urgency. It was a young vulnerable girl who had been sexually abused and he was dealing with me that has post-traumatic stress syndrome and ADHD. And I wanted it dealt with. I don't want to be lying down here stewing for months, thinking and worrying about it, worrying about one of my waves hearing it, worrying about one of Sunday hearing it. People in the town attacking me again like they did 20 years ago. No. If it was his young boy that message was about, or if it was one of your wains that message was about, would you want them? Would you want your wain lying down here in the house themselves and to worry about that? Or would you want them to be fit to ring the police and the police go out and deal with it? You know, what about the wee girl herself that rang the police at the start? What, because they saw my name they're going to let down a vulnerable adult, a young girl that has wains that's been targeted for years. Now, that's the second time that house was attacked, and that's the second, not the first time, the second time the police tell her that the cameras at the back of the police station don't work. There's not a police station in Northern Ireland and the cameras don't work on. Sorry, I need to want a wee cuppa.
No, you're okay, Brian.
I'm sorry if I seem hyper, it's ADHD on me. Do you know, I'm not violent or anything like that there. Like, I'm just a bit bonkers.
We're a bit bonkers yourself, Brian, on a good day.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
We're all in the same boat. Life is simple, Brian. It's just people that complicate it. So it is.
No, and I live away out here, I live away out here near Nebby, but and my neighbours will tell you I'm the strangest boy. You know, and then you can ask them. I didn't party, I didn't barely drink. There's never been a complaint out to my neighbours about me from here. Yeah. So I lie down here out in the road to mind
Is
your
that wee
business.
donkey yours out
Yeah,
there?
wee ponies. And there's one wee grave there.
Uh-huh.
Then there's a mommy and a baby down there, and then I've one up the mountain and another field out there. Can you see them? No, but the problem is the shed there. See, I'm building up the garden.
Alright,
And I built
right.
a shed down here so that me and the kids can train and do bits and pieces. So that's my way right to the bottom.
Alright.
Just me chicken, I built a chicken pen there. So.
So your land was right down there?
That's it, just, it was very bad, the shape of it.
Yeah, yeah.
If you know what I mean. And that's the point there where the helicopters flew in front of me and nearly hit the top of that shed.
Mhm.
And then whenever I rang the police, no Brian, there's no way a helicopter could get level with your window. And I'm going, but you only lived in my house. And then they hung up on me.
Right, so you're saying, Brian, that you can't understand how police couldn't get in contact with
Danny.
that you say him about
He's
all
a
the
bit every day. He's a heroin addict that doesn't anything but walked into the chemist to get either his methadone or his meds, up to his flat and wanders about, him and five of the heroin addicts, Paddy Kane, Crazy Horse Watson, Paddy McGoffigan. They walk about the tune the whole time, robbing, stealing. The police are never done away from him.
Right, and the officer rang you there on Sunday to say that he had got
Gave him a stern warning to,
Okay.
and Danny had told him he was having a bad day. Sure, we'll have a bad day. That doesn't mean I go out and abuse women. And the fact with it being a sexual matter, and you have two people with mental health issues, Michelle and me, the wee girl has been raped, it should be an urgent. The first police officer should have dealt with it instead of laughing it off. You know, you don't leave stuff like that to go out in the public and fester.
And that was on Sunday morning, he rang you.
Sunday, I'm not sure exactly what time. Because I'm playing between work, the kids then at home, and then went to Belfast.
And he said he'd had a stern word with him. Now you said to me, Van, that was all you wanted.
Oh, that's alright.
whenever you
I'm happy
reported
enough.
it to
I'm happy
police.
enough with the result. I'm happy enough that they had a top 10, but it's the length of time and the fact the amount of people that's seen that message, the amount of people that's talking about it. If they'd went straight away and had ordered with him, he wouldn't have been fit to do that. He would have been fit to sit and laugh. You know, my daughter heard about this shit. My daughter's 13 years of age. You know, that's Danny Watson's her second cousin, or her mommy's cousin. You know, and he's tied up. Danny Watson's up getting the heroin off Charlie Ward, the boy I complained about 9 years ago. It's all the same people.
But your complaint is that it took them too long.
It took them too long to deal with the matter. They're dealing with people, vulnerable people with mental health issues. You know, they're dealing with a young girl that was raped. There's a wean. Now, they're dealing with me, and I had children and businesses and stuff going on, and they should have went straight out and dealt with him. At the end of the day, when they were at Michelle's house to take the complaint, Danny Watson's is only out round the corner. No more than 200 yards by the crow flies. Yeah, they could have dealt with it that day. When Simon or whoever went to the house, they could have went round and dealt with it straight away. When they're sitting outside the kebab shop, filling their friggin' faces, which I see them do all the time, because they're filling me in face or in the car park, you know, they could have stepped out and went to his house. No. The other day they seen me in my Jeep. They went into a person's house and purposely blocked the road. Blocked the road so I couldn't go out, and I had to sit for 20 minutes in my Jeep. In Aramoy village. Right, and there's only one way in and out of the state. And they blocked it so the cars couldn't get in and out. And I took a picture of it. I sat there for 20 minutes. And then when the policeman came out, I tried to get a picture of him again. He started waving at me, grinning. Got in the Jeep and a car and drove off. The same car that drove up and down by the house, same number plate. For 20 minutes. And like, it's not as if they didn't notice because it says BMM all over the Jeep.
Okay, do you want me to read this out to you, Brian?
Yeah, please.
Okay, on the 17th of August 2017, I received a snapshot of text messages that Danny Watson had sent to Michelle Parker. Michelle forwarded this to me as Danny Watson had made a malicious allegation against me that I had been involved in a gang rape. Danny Watson, who is Michelle Parker's ex-partner, named me as being involved in a gang rape of Michelle Parker. Michelle was sexually abused in the past. I have known Michelle all my life, but I have never been in her house. I have never been in a relationship with her. I was accused of rape years ago, and there was no case to answer. I was therefore very angry and upset when I received this message from Michelle. I rang police to report having received this message on the 17th of the 8th, I was then contacted by Constable Simon Archibald in Coleraine PSNI. This officer asked me to send him the details. I sent him an email on the 17th of the 8th, and a clip of the text message I had received from Michelle. I wanted Constable Archibald to deal with it and to speak to Danny Watson. After I emailed the officer the details, he rang me once to say that he couldn't find Danny Watson. Danny Watson is a heroin addict and a heroin dealer, and I always see him walking along the street in Ballycastle. I don't understand how police could not get in contact with him. I then received a telephone call from Constable Archibald on Sunday morning, the 29th of the 10th, 17, to inform me that he had located Danny Watson and he had had a stern word with him. I am happy that police did this, as this was all I wanted them to do, but my complaint is that it took the officer too long to speak to him. Both Michelle and I have mental health issues and are vulnerable, and I feel that the police should have spoken to Danny Watson sooner.
And the fact that Michelle had made a complaint already, I won't put on that.
It should not have taken place over 2 months to deal with my report, especially when Michelle had already reported.
When Michelle had already reported it and the police hadn't took it serious. I want that on it.
Okay, especially when Michelle
had reported it already.
It should not have taken place over 2 months to deal with my report, especially when Michelle had already reported it to police and they didn't take it seriously.
Yep.
Okay, are you happy enough?
Yep, I'll sign that now. Put my suit away before I forget. Come on.
Are you happy to sign it, Brian?
Yep.
Do you want to read it?
No, I'm not good at reading right now.
Okay. So I always make people aware of this wee declaration
right,
here, okay?
Right.
So it's 2 pages.
Yep.
Okay. So it's just before you sign it. I declare that this statement, consisting of 2 pages, each signed by me, is true to the best of my knowledge and belief, and I make it knowing that, if it is tendered in evidence, I shall be liable to prosecution if I have wilfully stated in it anything which I know to be false or do not believe to be true. Okay. So do you want to sign there then for me, please? Okay, let me sign here. And see where I made that wee mistake. Will you just initial that? That's great. Okay, and then if you sign here. Okay, and I don't think there's any mistakes in that. Okay, and then I'll sign it and then
That's you done, ladies. Thank you very much for coming down. I'm sorry I'm a bit hyper.
You're alright.
I'm sorry if I get cross or sound that way. Anyways, I'm just trying to get this all.
No.
I'm trying to get a resolve to it. I just want it to stop. You know, I've had 10 years of this, and honestly, I was draining the life completely out of me. Had to ring the police, and then to ring you after it, and then complain to your staff.
Sorry, you wouldn't just do a wee initials just so that nothing can be added there for me? That's great. Thanks very much.
No problem, ladies. Thank you for coming
Okay,
down.
so obviously I've got your statement now, Brian.
Yep.
So what I'll do is I'll get all the police documentation, okay, and I'll find out
Well, I
what
told
the
them.
problem was
I told
and
them
get
on
in
the phone.
contact with them.
I told them on the phone the first time they rang me. I'd already rang you. As I do with every time when the officers ever contact me, and I tell them straight away if I haven't heard from them within a reasonable time, I'm contacting the ombudsman, and I've notified every officer the whole way along to let them know and give them a chance. And they never take it, and then I ring yous, and then it's funny, and now you can check your office. I have rang, and I have kept saying this to your office. It's funny, 2 days after I ring your office, or that very day, the police seem to ring me up and tell me, oh, we're dealing with this, Brian. Now, and you've written me a letter back saying, oh, it's just pure coincidence. But it can't be coincidence 8 times.
Alright, no, I
So
understand.
either somebody in your office is notifying them or my phone's
Aye,
stopped.
well,
The
no.
minute they realise that
I-
I'm pushing, then they're...
No, I
Two
spoke to you yesterday, and honestly, I assure you that because I don't have a statement,
Mm.
okay, I hadn't notified anybody. So now I do have your statement, and obviously then I'll have to notify the officer
To me, it's funny.
that a complaint has been made, because he'll have to give a response
Oh, well,
to
anyway,
the
Mum.
complaint, okay? But I'll keep you updated then every 8 weeks, Brian. How
I'm
do you
just a
want
matter
that?
curious, if you do find out who the other officer was that took Michelle's first statement, could you just nosy against the fact that the officers I had the complaints held against to see if it was one of them? Because it's the only way you're going to get a pattern and a trend
Alright,
here with
no,
me.
but I've explained to you, Brian, that's Michelle's complaint to make, okay? You weren't involved in
That's
that.
alright.
So
So I'm in touch with
I
Michelle
can
now
just
whenever you leave.
no, I'm just